There, so this video is going to get into some examples of the law of sines. So the first thing we want to review is we go back to our work with congruent triangles. And we want to think about all the different ways we could prove that triangles are congruent. So we know that we have, like we could do angle, side, angle. Okay, we know that we could do angle, angle, side. We also knew that we could do side, angle, side. And we could do side, side, side. Now, if you remember, there was a special case that didn't work, and it spelled a bad word of ASS, so it was kind of would jump out at you. So if we kind of get into that, that was a special ambiguous case here. There is a way, so we did figure out that HL could be a special case of ASSS to prove triangles are congruent. And then for similarity, we could do AAA. Okay, so if we get all three angles, we're going to have our time using the law of sines. And if we have this, we're going to have there's a special case where this will work. Okay, so this video today is going to work on these two cases here and then this ambiguous case right here. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is look at this example. So we're going to solve a triangle where we're given two angles and a side. So the first thing we want to do is draw a picture. So I've got a triangle here, and I'm going to label the triangle ABC. And it says that angle A is 36 degrees. Angle B is 48 degrees. And A, so A is opposite angle A, so that's 8. Okay, so when we are asked to solve, we basically have to find all of the angles and all of the sides. So right now, if I were to look, okay, I want to find A, I want to find B, and I want to find C. And then I want to find angle A, I want to find angle B, and I want to find angle C. So when you're asked to solve, it's asking you to find all 6 pieces. So we already know that angle A is 36 degrees. We already know that angle B is 48 degrees. And we already know that A is 8. Okay? And if we look at this case, this is angle, angle, side. So this is an example, is an angle, angle, side example. Okay, so we're going to use the law of sines. So I'm going to start off, I'll use some color here to kind of color code what's going on here. So I have 36 degrees and 8 is opposite. Okay, those are my two knowns. Like this over here is this 48 degrees, and the side opposite is unknown. Okay, and then angle C is also unknown. I don't know what angle C is, so we'll just call this C degrees here, and then this is side C here. So I need to find both of these two, and I need to find the angle. Okay, C is actually pretty easy to find right now because I know the two angles. So if I take 180 minus 48 minus 36, that leaves me with a 96 degrees. So I just found that. So that's going to be 96 degrees. Okay, so now I'm going to set up a proportion using the law of sines because I know that I have a ratio of the sides. Okay, so because I know these two reds, to angle A and side A, that's going to be one of the ratios I use. So I'm going to use the sine of A over A equals. Okay, now I know the 48, so I'm going to plug in sine of B over B. Okay, so when I plug in information in red, I know I'm going to take the sine of 36 over 8. And that means in blue, what color is that? Green, I'm going to then say the sine of 48 over B. Now when you set these up, you only want to have one unknown because you want to be able to solve this. Okay, so now I'm ready to do the algebra behind it. And when I do the algebra, I'm going to switch the location of these two. So that means B over 8 is equal to the sine of 48 over the sine of 36 degrees. Okay, so now if I multiply both sides by 8, I get 8 times the sine of 48 degrees over the sine of 36. Now you grab your calculator and make sure that your calculator is in degree mode, and you put that in, and we get that B is approximately 10.11. Okay, so I just found B to be 10.11. Okay, now I'm going to find C. So I'm going to set up, now I do know what B is now. B is 10.11. However, because I rounded on that, I'm still going to use A because those were, I know those values for sure were exact. So I'm going to use the sign of A over A equals the sign of C over C. Okay, so I'm going to substitute in sine of 36 over 8 equals, C is the sine of 96 over C. Okay, now I'm just going to do some of the algebra to clean it up. I'm going to switch these two. So I'm going to get the C over 8 equals sine of 96 over the sine of 36. I'm going to multiply both sides by 8, so I get C equals 8 times the sine of 96 over the sine of 36. And that's going to give me, when I put it into a calculator in a degree mode, I'm going to get C is about 13.54. Okay, so I get C is about 13.54. Now I have found all the sides and all the angles, so I'm finished solving. In the next example, we're going to look at the ambiguous case of SSA.